Hi, I'm Mike. The question that I get most often in the email is, how can I become a rancher? Well, today we're going to take a look at that question and maybe ask ourselves why on our Wyoming Life. Northeast Wyoming is experiencing another round with Old Man Winter, this time in the form of a snowstorm that they're calling Ezekiel. Ezekiel is forecast to deliver anywhere from 7 to 14 inches of snow, whiteout conditions, and winds as high as 60 to 70 miles an hour across the area. This storm is supposed to last until Sunday night, and I can guarantee you that we'll be digging out by Monday. Normally, I'd be cursing a storm like this, especially on a holiday weekend, but it's actually pretty good timing considering what we have going on and planned for today's video. I'll get to that, but first let me tell you about our email. I read every email that comes to us. I might not get to answer every single one, but I do read them. Sometimes I don't answer an email because I have a video coming up that might just answer someone's question, or at least I have a video in mind. So I searched my email today for the terms how to and the term rancher. Over the past couple of years, I've received thousands of emails with the question, how do I become a rancher? Or sometimes cattle farmer. So today I set out to answer that question. I figured if thousands are emailing me to ask me, there's probably many more who are not asking the question, but they're thinking it, and you all deserve an answer. There's an old joke, well, I'm not sure if it's a joke, but it goes, how do I become a farmer? The answer, marry a farmer's daughter, which is kind of like what I did in a roundabout kind of way. Of course, when Erin and I got married, we had no intention of having anything to do with her stepfather's ranch. In fact, her mom and Gilbert got married while she was in college, so she had little to nothing to do with the ranch up until the day that we moved here. So for me, it was just dumb luck. And really, when we came here, neither of us thought we would be here longer than a few months, just long enough to help family get back on its feet. But life finds a way. And the best thing about everybody's journey is that it's going to be different. We all have different goals. And the path to reach those goals for some may be harder. And for others, it may be as easy as taking a phone call. So when I set out to make a video to answer the question, how do I become a rancher, I figured out I couldn't just do it in one video. So today marks the beginning of a series of videos all about how to become a rancher or a cattle farmer. Every couple of weeks, a new segment will be released, and we're going to be taking a look at the different kinds of ranches, from hobby farms to small scale farms to feedlots, cow-calf operations, backgrounders. We're also going to explore the types of land and how much is required and how different regions can drastically change your ranch. We're also going to look at the animals, the equipment, and probably most importantly, the financing. I also encourage you to comment and send me questions that you would like this series to answer, and I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along. Hit the bell button, turn on your notifications, and come along with us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. So when we start taking a look at ranching, I think before you spend a dime, or spend too much of your time even, you need to know what you're getting into. You need to know what to expect. This is a question that I didn't ask. And if I had, I might never have came here. But what I want to do is take a look at some of the difficulties of ranching, but I also want you to know what you have to gain. And trust me, it's not in the pocketbook. So let's head out to feed the cows this morning. The weather may be a great big crap sandwich, but the cows still need to eat. And it actually leads me into our very first point. No matter where you ranch, the weather will always beat you down. I call it the great equalizer, but it's one of those things that you can't let it know that you're afraid of it. Multiple aspects of your ranch will count on you no matter what the weather's doing. The weather will always be your biggest challenge. It doesn't matter if it's rain or snow, hurricanes or drought. The weather will put you on your knees occasionally. Just like here, most people don't enjoy working outside once weather comes around. Construction work shuts down in the winter, and we rarely see anybody working outside that doesn't have to. Unfortunately, as a rancher, there's no getting around the weather. If you have animals, you're going to have to make sure that they're taken care of. They are your responsibility, and it can be a miserable job, but somebody has to do it. And on your ranch, you're the only one to do it. For some people, that's a wonderful thought. The isolation of the ranch life. Being out in the middle of nowhere, where your cell phone doesn't even have a signal, and if it does, you can pretend it doesn't. Some people live to be alone, with just their thoughts, but others need that human contact almost constantly. If you check your phone because you haven't gotten a text in the last 10 minutes, that might be you. There are days where I don't see another person all day long, and it's only when I come home at night that I get a chance to sit down with family and I know what I was missing. Having a family can even be hard on a ranch. I speak from experience on this one. And the stress of knowing that if you work the ranch by yourself, that it's all on your shoulders can be incredibly hard. Hopefully, you're lucky enough to have some help. Somebody who is willing to help you from time to time and take on their own ventures to help support the ranch. And of course, always remember the phrase, "I'm sorry for the things I said while we were working cattle." You're going to be saying that one a lot. No one told me what to expect from the ranch life. But the amazing thing is that at some point, you realize that it's not just a job that you have. It's a lifestyle. And while the possibilities are endless, you're also going to have to make sacrifices and deal with a number of things that the average person may never see in their lifetime. Everybody nowadays works long hours, but your day will never quite end, even when it feels like it has. Your phone may ring in the middle of the night, and you may find yourself half asleep talking to a sheriff's deputy who's telling you that there's a bunch of cows out in the road. And when you hang up the phone, adrenaline hits your system like a rifle blast, and you're out the door before you realize that you aren't sure what road they're on, or if they're even your cows. Someday, you're going to have to come home and tell your family that the first cow you had on the ranch has died. Hopefully, before you found her suffering. But more than likely, you're going to have to look her in the eye as you ended for her. There's stress on how to pay the bills. There's tedious and monotonous tasks that seem to take forever. And there's the fact that you're going to watch friends take weekend vacations, riding in the mountains, snowmobiling, or traveling from here to there. You, however, are going to be stuck on the ranch, because even though you have neighbors who you know would be happy to feed for you, you're not going to ask them to do it, except once or twice a year. And when you do take that vacation, the whole time you're gone, you're going to be wondering what's happening back home and worrying about your garden, your horses, or your cattle. Because you can be in Hawaii and find yourself missing a snowstorm, wanting to see the cows, the ranch, and missing your life, your ranch life. It's not just a job, and it's not just a ranch. It's land that you hope you'll be able to pass down to further generations. Land that you can use to support your family in a way that very few ever get to. Land that your kids will grow up on, and their kids will thrive on long after you're gone. You might be a cattle farmer or a rancher right now, watching this, or you might be someone who lives in the city, working in a cubicle and who wants out. You might be a cop on patrol or even a door-to-door salesman. But I can tell you this, ranching and farming is something that I rarely see people choose to do. You may ask me, how do I become a rancher? When the real question might be as simple as, how do I find my ranch? Because If you're meant to be a rancher or a farmer, there's one out there waiting for you. You may not know it, but when it grabs you and chooses you, picks you to take care of it, it's then that you know why you sacrifice to do it. There's a bunch of romantic notions about being someone who takes care of the land. We've all heard the term being a good steward of the land. But really, a steward is just someone whose job it is to manage or look after the land or property of another person. Who is that other person? For me, it's the future, the kids, and their kids. So when I go out and work on a day like today, that's what keeps me going. None of it's bad, the death, the stress, or the weather. You want a ranch? No matter what the scale you want to do it on, it's about hard work, physically and emotionally. It's about taking care of the land and the animals first. A place where your word is often the only thing that you have that's worth a damn. And it's about a level of compassion that you rarely find anywhere else. It's a special calling, and one that might just be calling you. Next up in our series, we'll take a look at the different types of ranching that you can do. And trust me, not every ranch is thousands of acres. You'd be surprised to find out that some of the most successful ranches are actually the smallest. Again, subscribe so that you don't miss a thing, and I really look forward to taking this journey with you. Comment with your questions, answer questions, help out others, and we'll see you soon. Until then, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.